when he was interviewed.
We're not a tree farm. We're gonna get him some toys.
Yeah, toys for you. I think the turning point for him is when I bought toys. So I started throwing toys at him, and he would just get really excited. Little by little, I was going outside and showing him I'm not a threat. I wanted him to really come to me on his own terms.
Good afternoon.
Hello,
Hey,
sir.
how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. So
All
we have
right.
a skeleton crew, but sometimes all you need is the bones, the
All
blood and the
good.
bones. But yeah. So Jay, Sabrina couldn't make the 1 o'clock.
That's
Neither
okay.
could Kevin A. But we'll record, and I think what's going to wind up happening is this recording will set up an opportunity for them to be better prepared to ask the kind of questions that will get very technical about not only logistics, um, but about what is the outcome for what it is you're going to show us. Samples of the kind of standards of stuff that you guys have shot before for the um, activity, the awards. But if you can, so we're recording this, tell us a little bit about the history of the event and anything else you can do to fill us in about the gravity of it.
Okay.
Will you?
So first of all, thank you guys. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you rallying on short notice. For those of you who are going to be watching this via the recording, thank you in advance. Basically, to we are trying to um create a tribute video for um our 10th anniversary of an organization called Hollywood in Pixels. So Hollywood in Pixels is an organization that was created basically to honor, celebrate, catalog, and record the efforts of people in the marketing space as we've kind of evolved into more digital marketing for, movies, and what that's like. So if you can imagine back in the early 2000s or in the 90s when internet connections were slow and the technology was different, people were out there innovating and trying all kinds of funky stuff that we now take for granted when you have the power of the internet on your phone, with high speed connections that don't even require um, a wired connection. So we've kind of completely evolved, and the goal of Hollywood in Pixels was to make sure that those things were not lost to time. Um, the organization did a video back in 2021. Maybe we did one to kind of commemorate the hard work that people did during the pandemic to continue marketing movies and stuff like that. And now that it's our 10th anniversary, um, I think that's, what we're trying to do is create a tribute video that captures different people's perspectives with respect to what they think about the organization, what it's meant to them, what's happened over the last 10 years and how that's changed their work, what the future looks like, stuff like that, so that we condense those comments down into what will be like a macro sizzle, something that's, let's say, between 5 and 10 minutes long, as opposed to something that's 2 minutes long. And the goal is to have something like 12 to 14 people involved, some which will be able to hopefully aggregate and get their comments, like our board members, to get them all to kind of be in the same place at the same time so that they can say their piece. But other folks that we have to go shoot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The game plan is to do kind of one-on-one interviews that'll be anywhere from like 15 to 20 minutes long, where we'll ask the same questions of everybody. It's got to be, video quality's got to be high, lighting, etc. Audio's got to be high quality so that we can get those different people. And then I've got an editor who's going to take that stuff and put it together along with archival footage from the organization, as well as other, stuff that we can find that will give people a better sense of some of those campaigns from the past or the popular culture from the past so that it all kind of hangs together, and he'll add music and stuff like that. But the core of it is going to be the commentary and the capture of the people that we're choosing to be spokespeople for this. And this is where I need the team's help. I've outlined a few dates that I think that I'm pretty sure where I'll be available, which are September 24th, which I think is a Wednesday. Um, in fact, I was just going through this now.
Yep, it is
Let me do
Wednesday.
it again. So September 24th, part of September 26th, so the morning of September 26th, September 29th. Hold on, let me make sure that's true. I think that's true. September 29th. And then the daytime of September 30th, I have other commitments that'll have me having to peel away at probably at about 3 p.m. But up until about 3 p.m. on the 30th. My hope is that that's enough. Those are enough dates. If need be, I'm also available on October 1. But I think anything after October 1 is going to be too late in terms of being able to get footage to the editors in time to do stuff with. I also have some time, I think it's the 20, let me go back. Uh, the 22nd. I think I mentioned no, it's the 22nd. I'm good. I'm free most of the day until about 3. It's the 23rd. So 23rd, I'm not free until about 1 p.m. But from 1 till the end of the day, I'm also free. So part of this is also a roll call to figure out which dates and times will be best for everybody so that I can block, say, 3 different dates, and we can try to schedule everybody to be available on those dates and kind of take it from there. I apologize because I have a meeting about our internal events that I'm going to have to jump to probably in about another 10 minutes. But I wanted to make sure that I took questions and maybe shared some examples if that's helpful.
Sure, the examples would be great, but I want to ask a few questions I got from Sabrina. Is there any chance, Sabrina said just for continuity and maybe just for more control, is to use one common set for lighting, sound, and anything else that would allow us just to kind of make it easy peasy?
So the answer is yes. Yes, but yes, we could potentially find a venue that we could use to get kind of schedule everybody. But as far as making sure that people are available, I think it's much better for us to go to them, which means we're not going to have that continuity. Secondly, there's also the thing about the video itself. While I understand the idea that you want consistent lighting and stuff like that, you also don't want 15 different talking heads or 8 different talking heads all sitting in the same location for 5 minutes because it's going to make the viewer bored, right? You want some people sitting at a conference table. You want some people standing up, maybe even outside. You want some people, right? So that you kind of blend that, and it really does look like we went and talked to these different people wherever they were. Even if in reality we only have like 3 or 4 different locations, I think it's better for the video if we don't consolidate to just one.
Right. One of the things that I brought up to Kevin A was the notion that even if you were shooting somebody in a shoebox and you had the ability to do a 3 camera shoot with making sure that the cameras were trained on different angles, close up, wide shot, and then another shot, you could still make it compelling in the editing and the post production. But we don't have any control of the post production on how that person's going to cut the raw footage that we could give them, which makes it more easy for us if we're just using one camera, potentially to use different sets. Because we were thinking about using something that would be a little bit more elaborate in terms of storytelling and drama and having these different cuts and all of the associated things to make sure that the time code from the different cameras that were synced up were all together. Do you think that that's too much for the editor?
I don't think so. I would say that remember that we're going to be interviewing people, and that really the vast the majority my expectation is that the majority of the footage that we end up using is going to be just from those people talking. And
Okay.
so that means that if we're just time stamping each interview, that should be enough. There shouldn't be so many different uh, video sources um, that we can't just say Mary Jane's interview at 7 minutes. You know, even if we end up using the same recording medium and have this, like 5 videos on the same thing, um, it's recording two and give them the timestamp, right? That should be fine. I don't think we're because we're also asking that editor to catch certain quotes. um, they're going to go to that timestamp and run it back anyway. We're not telling them specific. We're not going to give them specific cut marks. We're going to say, oh, this person's going to talk about how Hollywood in Pixels did this, event, and it's at 5 minutes into their talk or 35 minutes into the video. They'll say bop 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 because I'm going to come back and give them quotes. We want that, and we want this
Okay.
other thing, and we want this other thing. So we don't have to overfit for the editors. The big thing is just making sure that if they have um, uh, any requirements around the way the video is captured, frame rates, lighting, etc., if they have requirements that they've passed on to us, that we follow those.
Okay. All right. I think if Jay, if you could give us a little bit more context to who, what, where, why, and how this is all, in your bailiwick of things to do, that would give these guys a little bit more of the historical on
Okay.
on this. And then I
Yes.
know you got to jump.
Yes. So the big thing for me, I've been a board member or an advisor for this organization now for probably 6 years, 7 years. Um, and it's part of the glue that holds the film entertainment industry together. So the people who are part of this organization are folks who have every day, every way are trying to get audiences to fall in love with films and to go see them. Some of those people are in measurement. Some of them work for integrated marketing agencies that are pulling um, you know, resources in, but creating campaigns as a third party on behalf of the studios. Some of these people work in marketing at the studios themselves and have worked on all kinds of campaigns over the years. Some people are newbies, some people are wildly experienced. We also, some of this work will be aired during an awards night. This will be the 8th time we do that awards night, which is also a great opportunity to kind of not just recognize people who have made it, but also to give young and upcoming people some shine and recognition across the industry cohort. So there's hundreds of people who are working in these functions across Hollywood. And in fact, some of them were social media content creators. Some of them were videographers, cinematographers, etc., who then jumped onto the marketing side because they felt that their creative talents were better used there. But with respect to like the kinds of buzz and promotions that you might see on a TikTok or an Instagram, the kind of um not just the trailers, but all of the stuff that gets people hyped to see, Harry Potter or Dune or the Marvel movies or whatever. Like that's all coming from this community of people. And so professionally, in terms of my role as the executive director for the Center for Media Entertainment and Sports at UCLA, and personally, in terms of my role as a professional who works in and around the entertainment industry, all this stuff is super important to me. And this annual event and the video that we're talking about hopefully is going to be, something that we can contribute back to that community. And my hope is that if we get it right, it'll also um, provide some awareness and recognition for the work that you guys are doing too.
Wow, great. Do you have like a couple of minutes to show them what that video from, or were you able to pull anything?
I think so. Hold on, let me just make sure it's the right thing.
Right.
Uh,
And then yeah, we'll end it and try to reconvene. Is there any chance to get you later this afternoon? Because I'd love to have you introduced to Sabrina.
Uh,
She
I,
knows who you
I,
are,
I,
but
I remember meeting Sabrina at Pulse. I hope so. I can't promise, only because I'm also I'm going to be zipping back and forth starting at about 2:30, and I've got a 2 o'clock call, but we can try.
Okay.
So, but let me show this. Where would the share screen? Boom. I'm going to show you. This is the thing we did. Are you sharing screen or am I trying to share screen?
Okay. Well, let me take.
Right.
Okay.
Let me try that again. Share screen. I'm going to share that. This was the video we did before.
No audio.
You can't hear the audio?
No. Wait a minute. Is there anything I have to do, guys?
Jay, when you share screen, you make sure you click share audio as well. If you
Okay, hold on. So let me stop sharing then. And then let's go back. And when I hit share, it's only letting me, oh, advanced. There we go. Computer audio. No. Portion of screen, second camera, share sound. Got it. But I'm now, oh, are we back?
Yep, now we can hear it. Thank you.
Fair share of disaster movies, near future dystopian worlds that test our perceptions of reality. I'm pretty sure none of us could have predicted we'd be living out a real-life remake of Contagion in 2020. So we've asked a few of our friends to share their thoughts about the journey we've all been on together. And so I'll turn it over to some familiar faces to tell the story of an incredible year.
The biggest challenge has been the theaters closing and all of the theatrical releases either getting postponed or canceled.
Without people in movie theaters, it was hard to connect with our audience.
And we really took a big step forward, leaning into digital in a way that we've been talking about for quite a while.
We innovated when physical events weren't possible, bringing people together when time and distance became merely a construct.
We really wanted to investigate how can we be strategic partners to the business challenges at hand.
That's what I think the soul of digital marketing is. The willingness to try things, to take risks, to push the boundaries and frontiers and realizing there isn't a safety net. We can't predict the future, but we can alter the way we think. And that is the essence of digital, being a state of mind.
Though we have more content across more.
I'm just skipping ahead.
Made a huge step forward in the inclusion of diverse voices and different viewpoints.
I've been really inspired over the last few months by the fact that although we have more content across more platforms than ever before, there's really been a renewed appreciation for craft.
I'm thrilled that we are able to gather tonight in person and virtually for the first time since we canceled the Silver Pixels event in March 2020. And as you know, our Hollywood and Pixels mission is to preserve the stories of how Hollywood came to embrace digital marketing. So it seems only fitting that we preserve this pandemic moment as part of that story.
I learned that the Hollywood Pixels community can survive anything, and I'm glad that we are taking a moment today to celebrate the time we have here on this planet together. That is what I learned and will treasure most.
Okay.
Wow.
Stop there. So I skipped ahead just so that you can kind of just get the feel. I don't, you don't need to see the whole video. Although if you want to, I can share it. Notice that that was done during the pandemic where I interviewed everybody on Zoom. Some people were able to record themselves, like they set up their phone and or their laptop, record themselves and sent me the recording. But this was not like high-end cameras sitting in a studio, yada yada yada, right? So this is more, you can hear like the roll of the music, the interstitial like B-roll. The composition was just as much a part of making this come to life as the quality of the video for the people interviewed. The other point I want to make is that, I interviewed each person probably for about half an hour. And you notice that even though we use Bettina as the kind of framer of the story, like her stuff kind of goes throughout, everybody else, they just come in with stuff they said that made sense, that fit the themes, right? So out of 20 minutes, nobody got more than say 45 seconds. But it was the right 5 seconds here, 8 seconds there, 12 seconds there, and we kind of put it together. So the burden is going to be on the editor to do that part. Our job is to try to get high quality video from each of the people who participate. Most of the people who are in that video will be re-upping because more than half of them are either close friends of the organization or are on our board. Right. But there's another list of people that weren't in that video who are also on our hit list of people that we want to get to. I think I will tell you right now. The list is, where's the file? The list is 24 people long. We are not going to get to 24 people. Part of that is I got 24 options to maybe pull 15 or 16. And if we only get, say, 12 or 13 of those people, I will leverage my editor to kind of try to collect the last 4 or 5, to the degree that we can. But you notice again that like when you see those people speaking, they're in different locations and stuff like that. And that also kind of makes you feel like we're jumping from person to person. This goes back to Sabrina's comment about like, oh, why do you want to? It's like there's a reason for that, because you want it to feel like we talked to all these people. We went to them.
We're bringing a community. Yeah.
Right.
People.
And the cuts look a little harsher, as they should, because we're jumping back and forth from person to person. We want their point of view to get called out, like when they are part of the experience, right?
Got it.
So that's kind of the flavor there. As far as like how it should look, Kevin and I have worked with other people on other videos and stuff where the final video came out pretty high quality, and I can send links to that as well. But I think, us getting in tight enough to see people probably maybe a little closer than CJ is to his camera now, but not much closer than that. So you can see the person's face, but you can kind of also see the background, and then making sure we've got good lighting and good audio quality. That's the most important part. And what I'll do is once we have our team, I'll add you to the Google Sheet so that you have the list of questions that we're going to run through. And there we can actually, if we want to, kind of add a schedule so that we know when and where we're supposed to be to do the work.
Got it. Anybody have any last questions, suggestions, or comments before we break?
No, I think Jay really explained that well. I'm just happy and excited to be a part of the project. And I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity. And I look forward to working with you guys again.
Sonny, you the man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, CJ. And like I said, I know there are going to be people who couldn't make it right now on such short notice who are watching the video. Looking forward to collabing with you. And there's more, this is the overview. As we get closer to actually doing this stuff, which may just be in a few days, I'll have a lot more details to share once we actually figure out who's going to be involved and where we have to go to do what we do. Santos.
Yes, how's it going?
Right.
Nice to meet you, Jay.
Nice to meet you too.
A question about the date that you mentioned. Are those like days that we're meeting up, or are those?
So right. So those are the dates where I'm available for us to meet up and connect with folks. What I'm going to try to do from the list of dates that I just gave you is narrow that down to say 4 dates and give people a chance to choose 3 of them, so that then we can kind of consolidate shooting days. Right, across the dates when I'm available, you're available, and they're available. And we'll take it from there. And as I was saying to Kevin, what I am able to do potentially is leave any leftover folks for whom the dates don't fit to like a final day that we would ask the editor to handle. Right, we'd tell those people to all come to the same place, on a given day. Maybe they'd even come to UCLA, and we'll capture those people on that last day. I say that October 1st is probably the last day for us, only because the event is October 16th. And I want to make sure that the editor has about a week to edit, with leaving us, my organization, time to actually review the finished work in time to be able to set it up to be ready for the show, right? So I want to make sure that the last day that we might shoot would be the 1st, but I'm available at least part of the day for 4 of the 5 days next week, and I think for 2 or 3 of the days the following week. And for at least 3 of those days, I'm available the whole day. So those are going to be the first days that I propose to the subjects. And then based on how that falls out, I may expand to the days where I'm not necessarily full the whole day, free the whole day, so that we can land on 3 days where we can go get them, and then we'll see what we got.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So as of right now, we don't have anybody confirmed for like interview days or stuff like that. We just
Right, because I wanted to confirm availability with Kevin and your team first,
okay.
to make sure that I could leverage these next couple of weeks. So now I'm going to go out to those people and then nail down the dates, right? So that over the next 24 hours, you asked me that question again, I'm going to have my hope is 3 days where it's like from this time to this time, we're going to be here. From this time to this time, we're going to be here, blah, blah, blah. You know, these are the dates, these are the locations, this is how we're doing it.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay. Okay, guys. All right. So we're going to break contact. I'm recording this and I'll have it available for Sabrina and for Kevin A. And Jay, I will see if I can get your time so that they can actually have recorded, not recorded, reviewed the recording and see if we can get some better action from our ability to adjust to those dates and times and venues that you will set up
That's
for us.
totally fine. So my recommendation is let's try to do something tomorrow morning so we're not worried about schedule and they have time to view the video.
Oh,
But if this
okay.
afternoon is better, then so
Oh
be
no,
it. We'll try to make it work.
okay, I'll shoot for both of them tomorrow morning and see what we got. Okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
again, everybody, thank you, Kevin. Thank you. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little chaotic, but it's going to be fun. And as you saw from this video, if we do the part of the capture the right way, the finished product is going to be amazing, right? Remember, this is a 10-year anniversary tribute. So this is something lots of people are going to be watching for a very long time and coming back to. And hopefully it's going to give you guys a chance to get a little shine yourselves. So anyway, to be continued. I will see you guys soon, and thanks again.
Okay. Thank you, guys. All right.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you, sir.
Have a good day, guys.
God bless.